Welcome to the updated Solos Heroes tier list for the end of Season 12. Let's get right into it. First is Akos taking the bottom spot in S tier. Akos had some recent buffs that helped him in dealing with some of the newer characters by giving him more favorable interactions, more damage, and more healing. His ultimate is difficult to read and punish effectively, and his playstyle is one of the easiest to perform well with. His ultimate gives him access to damaging CC that heals him, purple and gold focus attacks that lead into combos, and increased mobility that helps him control any given situation. Next is my favorite character, Feria, and she's also going in S tier. Feria is a little harder to use than other top tier characters right now, but with practice and good aim, Feria can be incredibly oppressive. She gets good matchups against most of the cast and is a dominant character in Realm of Yang. Realm of Yang? Yang? We're gonna say Yang. Feria often gets targeted in multi-party situations and small late game circles since she can be a big threat if left unchecked. Hadi will be going into the S tier as well. His defensive skill is very good, letting him escape many situations in an instant. Hadi's ultimate has great potential damage output alongside the useful burning debuff. He can cancel the ultimate at any time to retain some of his ultimate charge, and he's able to pick up soul blooms during his ultimate to extend its duration. Hadi's a bit weak to Tessa and Feria, but has decent matchups against most other top picks right now. There are many heroes that are very good in solos right now, and Justina is definitely one of them, S tier. Justina's seen many positive changes over the years to keep her viable, and she's in a terrific spot right now for both solos and team modes. Her defensive skill is not as useful as other top tier characters, but her ultimate gives her good matchups against just about everyone. She still has infinite combos with the right soul jades, and can potentially have an unlimited number of dashes with her free dash on multiple targets hit mechanic. Justina can also cancel her ultimate to retain rage, and can take soul blooms to give her more charges of her ultimate dash. Kurumi will be going B tier. Kurumi's received nothing but buffs for a while now, and she's currently overtuned to the point where she can be used effectively in solos, despite having basically no neutral pressure from abilities. She just only does a ton of healing, so a Kurumi still needs to have good fighting skills and situational awareness to succeed in solos. Some people will target Kurumi over others because they think she's a weak target, while others will target others instead of Kurumi because she's not much of a threat. In a 1v1 situation, she may be disadvantaged, but her healing is usually substantial enough to keep her alive through the majority of ultimates, and the defense up skill can easily prevent 1000 damage or more. Next we have Lyam going into the A tier. Liam's defensive skill might be the best in the game since he can just send blue focus attacks as much as he wants without fear of taking parry punish damage or even dropping his weapon, combined with the spacing utility of the skill. His ultimates are both good in solos, with first ultimate usually being the go-to since it can be cancelled to retain rage and soul blooms will give more charges, and it has more versatility with the ability to teleport to the bind zone. Second ultimate is also viable since the capture orb can guarantee so much damage depending on Liam's soul jades or if there's any fire cages around. Then we have Matari going to the bottom of B tier. Matari isn't great in solos since her skill only allows her to run away and is usually pretty predictable, but a good Matari can easily slip out of a bad situation. Her ultimate has a lot of potential uses, gives her invisibility that automatically counters Viper, makes melee aim assist not work against her, and her first ultimate can be used while under attack. Her backstab can be used to guarantee a ton of damage, but it can also be dodged by an enemy, and it doesn't last as long as most other good ultimates in the game. She's supposed to be getting changes when the new season starts, so maybe they'll give her what she needs to be great again in a couple weeks. Monk will be our only hero today in F tier. He's pretty much the only non-viable character in solos anymore, since an ulted monk is just a big, easy target for everyone, and a monk after ult is an even easier target. In a 1v1, Monk's ultimate is simple to dodge while still being able to deal damage to him, and gets countered by many other characters' ultimates. His F skill is only decent. Moving on to Shayol, she'll get the top spot in A tier. Her recent second ultimate nerf brought her down a bit, but she's still very powerful when used effectively. Her second skill is very good in solos since it can be used to start a combo or just instantly deal a large chunk of damage. If someone jumps over Shayol's second skill, she can still cancel it and punish the jump. Her ultimates may not be very oppressive, but they do help her survive a lot of damage and capitalize on chaotic situations. Takeda is next, going in B tier. It hasn't seen any recent changes and has since fallen behind newer heroes in solos. He's not a bad pick by any means, but he does have a few bad matchups in 1v1 situations, especially against the top picks, and hasn't been seeing any tournament play in NBPL lately since he just doesn't fare well in the current meta. Then there's Tarka, and he will actually be going in A tier. Fire Dog still sees occasional tournament play since his ultimate's potential is nearly unlimited and he can secure kills incredibly fast. The only thing is that Tarka is so hard to use, it takes a lot of time and practice to become dominant with this character. He actually has many good matchups if he plays perfectly. And Temulch belongs in A tier. Sandman is still very good with a defensive skill that moves him vertically and gives him protection from ranged attacks while he holds the Wisp. The Wisp can guarantee a lot of damage from a combo or even from a distance with a ranged weapon, especially the repeating crossbow or a musket with armor pierce. His ultimate has a short charge time, and though it doesn't last very long, it gives him enough of an advantage against most characters to secure a kill, though he has bad matchups against Zipping and Feria. Tessa is very good in solos, S tier. Her low-cost ultimate gives her gold focus and healing before enchanting the enemy with a long CC that lets her set up a ton of free damage. Tessa prefers weapons that can do large damage in a single hit, like Pulse Sword with its stage 1 charge vertical. Her defensive skill is also very good since it pushes enemies away and gives her Foxfire, letting it activate a second time if they catch her off guard. She's also a good counter pick against Hadi. Valda has seen better days. She'll be at the top of C tier. Her defensive skill is not bad, even her first skill is still okay, but her ultimates are still underwhelming. Her water spears are pretty easy to dodge, and since the ultimate time is short, with a cooldown between throwing spears and a cooldown on enemies being affected by spears, it's very hard to get good value out of her second ultimate. The health shield is very nice though, and this ultimate could really benefit from an extension to its total duration time to 30 seconds, like all other good ultimates in the game. Viper is in a decent spot right now. She'll go to the top of B tier. Viper has the ability to shut down any character and potentially delete them in just a few seconds with her third ultimate, which silences enemies and guarantees follow-up damage when it pops. Her second skill, Silence, lasts for 8 seconds and can set up follow-up damage, while her third skill can potentially hit for hundreds of damage on its own. Wuchen doesn't have much going for him in solos, C tier. This guy is pretty hard to use in solo mode. You can do well with anyone if you're just the better player, but Wuchen won't do any heavy lifting for you. His defensive skill is not bad, but not great, and he can heal himself for a bit to sustain. None of his ultimates are really great in solos. Swap and Portal are both kinda mid. Wuchen is supposed to be getting changes along with Matari, so soon he may be more viable in solo mode, but we'll just have to see when that time comes. Yoto is going into the B tier. Yoto is not bad, but not great, and struggles to maintain consistent pressure with her abilities in a fight, since the effects of her skills and ultimates only last a few seconds. Her ultimate is pretty easy to dodge, at least if you have decent ping and good reaction time, and if you space away from her as much as possible while conserving stamina so you can give yourself more time to react to the incoming slashes. Yueshan is going down into the C tier. Yueshan in solos is a rare sight, and while a great Yueshan can succeed in a 1v1 situation, it will surely be very tough for him against the top characters right now. Yueshan can be tricky to use as well. His ultimate form may take some getting used to for many players. His recent changes to his defensive skill were actually a nerf, but it was kind of necessary since the old defensive skill had an unintended way to start a combo off of it, which didn't feel very good to fight against. Zai is in a pretty good place right now. We'll put her in A tier. Her defensive skill is good, and the skill's cooldown gets refreshed when she activates her ultimate. Zai's ultimate is really hard to fight against. She must be watched very carefully to be punished effectively, but a Zion ultimate can be fought head-on with many of the top characters right now, and she has a particularly bad matchup against Akos. We've saved the best for last, as Zipping will take the top spot in today's Solos Heroes tier list. Zipping is a popular pick for a good reason. She's nearly impossible to kill. She can keep healing and running better than anyone else, sustaining health and avoiding melee engagements that are not in her favor. Her skill gives her continuous healing to armor and health, and her first ultimate gives her an incredible amount of healing or saves her if she dies without having used it. So this is kind of an unexpected spread with S tier having the most heroes, but this is really how Solos is feeling right now. These 6 characters are all very strong picks for solo mode, with only a few characters that are noticeably weaker than the rest. Naraka has been doing a better job at balancing recently, and I'd expect this trend to only continue. If you're still here, then it's time to hit the like button, and make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss the next tier list. Hope you enjoyed this video, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next one.